Welcome back. Chip Flory, host of AgriTalk, joining us this weekend. Chip, it sounds like biofuels isn't just a topic at the Environmental Protection Agency right now. Right. I'm hearing that it's actually a topic of conversation within the U.S. Trade Representative's office.
Absolutely. Growth Energy and other stakeholders, RFA, were at a hearing at the U.S. Trade Rep's office. Now, this is in regards to the Phase 1 agreement from Trump 1.0. It has nothing to do with this fall's trade agreement, okay? So this goes all the way back, and what the biofuels industry is saying is that China failed to comply with the purchase requirements that were outlined in the Phase 1 trade agreement. And, you know, you think about it, and absolutely they failed to comply. In 2017, China was a very good importer of U.S. ethanol. Since 2021, when the Biden administration was doing nothing to enforce the Phase 1 trade agreement, those exports of ethanol from the U.S. to China basically fell to zero. So now we are putting ethanol and ethanol trade with China back on the stage. And I asked Chris Bliley, the senior VP of Regulatory Affairs at Growth Energy, to give us an assessment on how the U.S. Trade Rep and the Trump administration in general is treating ag.
We're very encouraged that our U.S. Trade Representative is very active on this. They've opened a 301 investigation. You know, Ambassador Greer and his team are looking very carefully at China and many other countries and how they're going to live up to their commitments. They're also very, very focused on, you know, trade deficits with some of these countries. And so I think we're very encouraged that USTR is very active on this. We're very encouraged that they've opened an investigation, you know, on China's commitments under Phase 1. Earlier this year, you know, I testified along with others on the USTR's investigation of Brazil and the trade fairness issues with Brazil. So, you know, we're encouraged by their actions.
Okay, Tyne, the reason that the investigation is happening is because there was nothing spelled out in Phase 1 on how the enforcement of the trade agreement would be handled. Now, if you're looking for a connection between the Phase 1 trade agreement and the trade agreement between President Trump and President Xi that was signed this last fall, there it is again. There's the lack of enforcement and the measures in the trade agreement. So a conversation that I had with Chris on the show this week was, hey, maybe what we're going to discover through all of this is exactly how the U.S. can enforce the trade agreements with China. And if that's all that we discover from this, it's going to be effort well spent, Time.
Interesting insights. Chip, thank you so much and Merry Christmas. All right, we need to take a quick break. And then we are traveling actually to Texas to check in with a holiday toy maker. It's an interesting story. That's right after the break.